So I said, Anthony, let's try something new. Let's try going live at a special time when nobody is aware that we're going to be on air. And you said?
And let's talk about my favorite subject.
You?
Yes.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey everybody, welcome to a surprise time. No Vacancy Live. If you'd like, of course, you can still watch this show at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. But what the heck? We're getting a little crazy here in summertime, aren't we, Anthony?
Now it's 6 a.m. Pacific, so we're waking people up.
Yeah, nothing better than waking up with this energy and having that morning coffee with
Listen,
us.
I had to get up early to take my daughter to the train station, so I figured,
Yep.
why not? I'll meet you at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I love it. People are tuning in. I absolutely love it. I'm excited today because, Anthony, we've been traveling on the road and we were in Las Vegas with each other last week at the incredible The Hospitality Show. And you got to participate in the General Manager Summit, which was really cool. I got to do a speaking gig over there, but we finally got to see the big debut. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I debuted my new toupee.
Yeah.
We will be showing it on my next show.
Seriously, it was the best toupee I have ever seen in my life.
Remember Hair Club for Men, Cy Sperling?
Yep.
I'm not just a client. I'm the president. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember
right before I got married, I was losing my hair when I was 17. So I was very insecure.
You're probably very insecure, yeah.
I was very, very insecure about it. And I said, you know what? I got to get a hair thing. So I went. They did plastic, they measured it, they did the whole thing. I gave, I don't know, let's say a $3,000 deposit.
Ooh, that's a lot back in that day.
Yeah. And they, I guess, went to Italy, got me some hair. About 6 weeks later, they called and said, your hair's in.
Right.
That was it. That's all I had to hear is my hair's in.
And that was it? You're out?
And I was talking to my bride to be. She goes, listen, I don't want you to do this, but if you want to do it, do it. I go, I can't do this. Yep. I can't. Basically, what they do is they staple it to your head, and that's staple.
Oh, God.
They surgically put in some clips, and then they clip it to your head, and they take it out every couple of weeks, and they, I guess, clean it off, and cut it around the hair that's growing on your head.
Yeah.
And I was like, I call him up and I go, keep my money. I can't do this. And he goes, what are you talking about? I've never had anybody cancel their hair.
Right.
I was like, well, there's going to be a good looking guy walking around with my hair.
Right.
And there's some person walking around with my hair.
That is hysterical.
I couldn't do it. And then a couple years later, I just shaved my head and I was like, best thing ever happened.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah. I mean, that must be really liberating. Plus it helped you create a persona. But that aside, what was it like when you finally made that decision? I'm just going to shave my head and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you, I was at Thanksgiving dinner and I was sitting next to my nephew and he was maybe 9 years old and he looks at me and I had just finished 20 minutes of spraying my hair and doing the whole, not comb over, but just moving my hair around. And he looked at me and he just said, I'll never forget as long as I live. He looked at me and goes, Uncle Tone, really? They all call me Uncle Tone. Uncle Tone, really? The hair. So that made me start cutting it shorter and shorter. And then one day I took somebody's advice and got a tan, went on vacation, came back and shaved it more and more and more. And I remember it was basically shaved all the way down. And I went into a Lucerne Hotel and Laura Biardi was my director of sales. And I'm nervous wreck. I'm like literally shaking.
Right.
And she looks at me, she goes, wow, you look really good with your hair like that. And that was it. I walked into my baldness, and then and now, like you said, it's a persona, and you couldn't give me hair. Now it's the greatest thing I've ever done. But I will tell you, when I was 17 years old, it was very traumatic.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking these questions, because I know you're really comfortable about talking about stuff. And if it help other people come to terms with whatever it is that they're dealing with, that they're super uncomfortable, I think that's really important, because all of us, as we're growing and developing, we have that one thing that we do not like about ourselves. And what I think is awesome here, Anthony, is you turned something like that could have been something that you carried around with you your whole life into something extremely positive that helps almost define who you are today.
Well, also, somebody said I wouldn't have had a TV show if I had hair. But,
yeah, right.
Also, people have come to know, and if you read my book,
Yep.
It basically says we talk
But
about
you have wait. You have a book out? Are you talking about Show Up: The 5 Steps to Getting Out of Your Own Way? Could that possibly be it?
Yeah. And so we talk about authenticity, and
Right.
when we did focus groups for my show came off as I was the most authentic person on Travel Channel.
Mhm.
So could you imagine if I'm talking about authenticity and I have fake hair?
Right. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wouldn't go too far.
No.
And listen, when you see somebody with fake hair,
Yeah.
you judge them. I hate to say it, but you do. You're like, come on, dude. Like there are people like, I'm a poker player. So I follow Daniel Negreanu, and he's a big poker player. And whatever he did, his transfer and whatever, it's amazing. And no one believes me, but Jimmy Kimmel has a either a hair transplant or some kind of.
Really?
Yeah, nobody believes me, but he has a hair system. And listen, bald guys know when people have hair systems.
Yeah. I mean, William Shatner's rug was a big thing for a lot of years.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds, remember?
Oh yeah. That being aside, I know this is a rather hairy conversation we've been having over there. But Anthony, when we were in Vegas, you had the opportunity to debut the first clip of a brand new show that you've been working on. You want to intro it and get us started here?
Yeah, a couple of months ago, or actually probably in November, because of my friend Glenn, I've met so many people, and I met Chip Rogers at AHLA, who is one of the most important people in our industry. And when me and my production company were deciding to get back on television, we didn't want to do it the traditional way where we create it and then we sell it to a network. We said, everything's changing on TV. So how do we get this funded? And then we control it. And so I went to Chip. Chip said, we'll fund the first 2 episodes. So AHLA and his incredible friggin' team, probably the best people I've ever worked with. Amazing. We've worked together,
thank you, by the way,
to put this show on, and they've been real supportive. And then I called my friends over at the Breakers, my friends over at Margaritaville. Shout out to Tamara and to Paul, and we put on these great shows that will actually have a cut. You won't see it for a while, but I'll see it about a week, and I'm really excited about it. So the show's called Hotel All-Stars Making the Cut, and our industry has not been great. We've been talking about the problem. We've been discussing the problem, but we haven't been great about solving the problem of not having enough employees.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of companies still not doing the right thing by their employees. A lot of people are, a lot of people aren't. And right now, if you don't understand that the employees have a leg up, it's not like when we were kids and, we basically sat over there and did what we were told. Now they have choices. So if we don't go after the best and brightest that have choices and show them, I was just talking to somebody, if you're a butler or a host in Vegas, you're making more than probably the general manager. You can make a lot of money in this industry. So it's about showcasing beautiful jobs, wonderful jobs.
By the way, speaking about showcasing beautiful jobs, I talked to my son, Ben, who's learning Mandarin, and I told him about an opportunity he could have in Vegas if he finishes learning Mandarin. So maybe we'll get him
Mandarin
there.
If you learn Mandarin, I will guarantee you can work at a 5-star hotel overnight, making really good money, and tell people how much you want to make.
Yep.
I guarantee it. Okay.
Yeah. So that is really interesting. And there's a lot of great opportunities to use whatever skills you have to really be able to leverage opportunity in the hospitality business. And that's kind of what this is all about, getting people to know about all of the opportunity that's out there.
And again, you don't have to go into the hotel business. You can go in the hotel business adjacent. You can work for an architect that does hotels. You can work for a designer that does hotels. You can work for so many different places. So the show is part hotel, 5-star hotels, the one I did years ago, where we showcased the beautiful hotel. And then it's part competition. So we put people through an interview with me, which is always fun, a competition individually, and then we put them in a team competition. And, it's not a screaming, yelling, oh my God, I'm embarrassing people show at all. It's a, I'm going to teach you. And like there's one, and you'll see in the clip, this one gentleman cursed in the interview. And I simply said, you cursed in an interview. It's not like, hey, you idiot, you cursed in an interview. So it's really about getting people excited about this industry and showcasing this industry, but it's by hotels for the hotel industry. So hopefully we'll have people supporting it internally through the hotel business, but Chip and his team stepped up, and Breaker stepped up, and Margaritaville stepped up, and I was so humbled by everybody supporting this vision. And I personally think it's the best show we've ever done. I've never said that about any show I've ever done. This is the best show we've ever done by far.
Awesome. All right. Well, how about we take a little sneak peek on what people can expect?
Roll the clip.
I am on the set of my new show, Hotel All-Stars Making the Cut, sponsored by AHLA. This show is about celebrating wonderful hotels all across America. And in every episode, we're looking for the next hotel all-star. This show is sponsored by the hotel industry for the hotel industry. Here is a sneak peek. Across the country, from bellmen to bartenders, from housekeepers to general managers, hotels can't find all the managers and employees they need. That's why I'm traveling to some of the country's greatest properties to discover what makes them special and to help them find their next all-star employees.
We spend so much time hiring the right people.
I've looked at resumes, I've looked at experience. I'm going to put 3 people through their paces to see who has what it takes to be an all-star. We've had hundreds of resumes, and you've been selected to come here today. What's your superpower? Do you want to be exceptional? Yes. You know you just cursed in an interview? The most important part is attention to detail. They will have 3 minutes to come here and identify the things that just aren't right. In this envelope is called a BEO, a banquet event order. Everything you need to know about this party is here. So you have to work together as a team. Time's up. Everybody in the living room, right now. I'm shaking. The hospitality business is about heart. There can only be one person that I recommend to the hotel. This is going to be life-changing. I am recommending that I immediately offer you a position. This show truly is a dream of mine, to celebrate the incredible employees of the hotel industry.
Now that is awesome. That footage looks fantastic. Those people look excited to be a part of this. And that opportunity that they're going to get is amazing. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And the one young lady gave me the greatest line ever.
Yeah.
We're crawling around the floor cleaning the room because the competition was getting the room ready for a party. It was a real party. And she looked at me and she said, why are you crying? And you know I cry all the time. So I was like, why are you crying? I'm crying, you're crying, we're all crying. And she said, because if this is the hotel business, I don't ever want to do anything else. I care so much about getting this right. And then at the end, she said some other things that were just, it's like she gave me my show. It's like, oh my God, these are the greatest sound bites. And that's one of the greatest things that we're able to do. When you have a great production team and you trust people, and as you know, I was kind of sick on set. So I had to really trust my team. And I just showed up, the camera went, I didn't even know what the breakers looked like. I was never there. And they brought me in blindfolded. And so every scene was kind of like Hotel Impossible. I didn't know what was going on. I never met the contestants before. I didn't interview the contestants. My team did. And boom, we go. And it was really, things just happened. I mean, it was just incredible. The tension, the emotion. There was a moment at the end of the show, and you saw it, they cut away, where I literally broke down, but not like crying with tears, but like sobbing, because it was such a special moment. So what questions do you have about the show there, Glenn?
So I'm really curious too. So these people will actually get a job at the
winner gets a job. So they get a job, and they got these specific people got a management program offer, some people, and got a offer for a job. And more important than that, they get the attention of the hotel. They're people are really going to pay attention. They're going to mentor. Right. I'll mentor them as long as they call me and want me to mentor them. And some people have been calling me and some people haven't. And, so it's what our industry needs. And if our industry doesn't support it, I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Well, I think everyone is going to get behind this one because not only does it serve a great purpose, but it's going to be fantastic entertainment as well. That's why I'm really looking forward to this. So a couple of more questions. So you can actually get the job. That's really cool. And how many different competitions and stuff like that did they have to go through for you to really get an understanding of who you were going to select to get into a job in a potential management program?
The initial interview, then the individual interview, and the individual interview was they have to inspect the room. I do 10 things. I turn the room upside down a little bit, and they have to find things in the room. And that's kind of an indication of who has attention to detail, who's kind of got a sense of urgency, and who's just farting around. Like there's one person that was just kind of walking around and going, I don't see anything. It was like they almost didn't have hands.
Oh, kind of like when I asked one of my my twin boys to find something in the cabinet.
Right. They don't know how to move things. They don't know how to open cabinets.
Right.
And so that was very, very interesting. And then they have a competition. In this case, one they had to do. One was a party where a young girl,
like a Sweet 16,
was having a sweet 13.
Oh,
she was a regular at the hotel, but her parents were surprising her with a birthday party.
Yeah,
and a different suite, and her and the hotel came to us and said, "Would you like to put it on?" It's like, yeah. So so they gave us supplies and stuff, and then the three people had to get it ready, and they had a banquet event order like you saw in the clip.
Yep.
And I won't give it completely away, but I had to kind of help them a little bit and saying, you may want to look at the banquet event order again. And the gentleman says, no, we got it. And I go, I think you need to look. And then I was like, I think you need to look at the banquet event order. Like, I'm not like asking you, I'm telling you.
Right.
And then the first
hasn't this person ever seen a reality show before when they give you those helpful hints?
Yeah, and then the first thing he yells is, the food. We had 3 minutes anyway, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. So, did they need any, or did they have any hospitality experience coming into this, or is the whole point maybe to have somebody who's never been through this before discover their love of hospitality?
The greatest words I said to Dana, who was our casting person, was deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
As soon as I said deer in the headlights, she understood.
Right.
I don't want people that vacation at the Breakers understand what that kind of level is. I don't want people that have worked at hotels and understand the chaos and understand what a BEO is. Mm-hmm. I want people deer in the headlights, never worked in a hotel, don't understand the verbiage, don't understand the slang, don't understand the urgency of the industry. And it either makes you or breaks you.
Fair enough. Being at the Breakers, that should happen. So at Margaritaville, is the are the contestants kind of like that same? Because one's more of a luxury hotel, where the other one is more barefoot, casual. Let's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I will just tell you, the winner of the Margaritaville competition very much is a Margaritaville employee.
Right.
It's come as you are. It's be who you are. It's be your authentic self. And very much so, the person who won is very much themselves.
That's pretty cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing where you're going to go next. And I know you've been in talks with a bunch of casino resorts and major resorts around the country. Are you able to reveal anything yet about where we're going to be going? Where you're going to be going next with Hotel All Stars?
No, I can't reveal it because we have no idea yet. And maybe one day you'll make a cameo on the show.
Maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. I gotta.
So ask me a production question.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's amazing to me is that you put out you got 2 episodes completed, and you were only there for like 5 days or something like that, right? One of them had to be a day where you went from one part of Florida to the other side of Florida, because one was West Coast, one's East Coast.
Yeah, so we shot in 2 days. I did 2 days of shooting on each show. There's not a lot of scenes, so the scenes that you're in, you better get the right information. So how it works is you have to conceptualize a show. So what's a show that we need? So this is the show that we thought we needed. Then you got to format the show, because one of the things I learned early on in on Hotel Impossible is less is more.
Yeah.
Like the BEO, what's a banquet event order? That worked beautifully because it's simple, it's easy to explain, and boom, you're in. Like if you try, so making it simple, making the format very understandable, and making it believable because it, it's real, and doing it really in 22 minutes. I have a show, I have 22 minutes. I shoot hours and hours, but so the problem we're having is what I'm understanding through the editors is. And it's a good problem. Is we have
too much.
We have too much footage, which is not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, but figuring out how to create those exact moments you want to connote with the energy and feel in that time constraint could be challenging, but it could also force it to be even better, right?
Well, it's the story producer, the person who writes the story, and he's been with me since the beginning. He has to write the story. So the story is in the can.
Yeah.
But now you got to tell the story in an understandable way.
Right.
Just because it's there doesn't mean the audience is going to understand it.
No, because you need, there's a lot of different elements that you have to have go very seamlessly in order to begin to start to tell the story. You have to explain the premise of the show. You need to explain the hotel and why it's relevant. And I see you have an interview or two in there, probably short clips it'll come up with that gets the point of the hotel and what these people are looking for. Then you go into, you've got to introduce each of the three contestants and say something about them, so we have an emotional connection to each of those people, right? And already now you've got to be through the first full act at that point, right? And you haven't even started the competition.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a very interesting statement, because I didn't meet the contestants until the last day, the second day.
Right.
So I'm shooting the first day, not knowing if we're going to have a show.
Right. So the first day is like probably interview with the hotel professional who you're partnering with, Tamara or someone like that from Margaritaville. Then you probably did all that B-roll. You got all those glamour shots of you that looked really awesome. The one on the balcony with the sun. Oh, damn, that was a great shot.
and you're showing, we do a lot of interviews with the people that work there, and and then what happens if people don't show up on the second day? Like what happens if we have one person, we don't have three, and they get sick, or their dog ate their car or something. So that was a little nerve-wracking, but again, I have a great team. I know they were on it. We had some people in the wings that if somebody didn't make it, we can call them.
Of course.
Interviewed. So listen, it's a great show. It's a show that's needed. It's timely. And I love shooting it more than I think any show, because 5 Star Secrets is great, but you're more of a host. And I'm not really a host kind of guy. Like I can do it and I can bring you around, show you beautiful things. Extreme hotels too. Like, look at this, look at that. Wow, that's cool. Again, I can do it. It's not my natural instinct. My natural instinct is give me a problem and not let me react to it.
Yeah. Totally. And I'm the opposite. I'm much more of the hosting time. I'm not good with problems.
No, I don't, as you know, I'm not, it's not my favorite thing to do but I'm good at it. I can do it, but I like reacting. Yeah,
absolutely. So, my guess is there's a lot of hoteliers out there that are watching this. What if they wanted their property to be featured on the program? And what kind of properties do you think would be perfect for this specific type of program?
Really, anybody that has a property that would like me to showcase it, just DM me anywhere. Go to AnthonyMelchiorri.com. It's pretty easy. Go to Anthony@AnthonyMelchiorri.com. Send me an email. Anywhere, on the internet, you can find me. Just drop me a DM.
All right. So they do not have to have like a food and beverage program, for example?
Well, I don't want to put any, anything on it. I don't want to put any parameters on it, because
who
knows? Who knows?
Yeah, right.
We're obviously not going to go to a hotel that has got a 1-star rating on TripAdvisor.
Right.
But
wrong program.
What's that?
Wrong program.
Yeah. So, but anything, like, there's nothing off limits.
Right.
We may not select you, but it's not off limits. And also, HLA funded the first 2. AHLA may fund a couple more part of it. Who knows? Hotels got to fund part of it. So it's also the funding part. Margaritaville and Breakers got lucky because AHLA funded it.
Yeah.
So they got us for free, basically.
Wow, that's really nice.
Whereas other hotels may have to pay part of the cost of doing the show.
Right.
And then when we sell the show, everybody, hopefully gets all their money back and everything's fine. But this isn't about that because we're not making a lot of money on this. We're not making really any money on it. But basically what it is we need to get a season because this is desperately needed in our industry, and then we'll sell it.
Yeah.
Which is never done before. No one's ever really done it this way before. But I happen to make a career out of doing stuff no one's ever done before.
Yeah, you got that right. Now I can't wait to see what hotels are going to be lined up next and the opportunities you're going to help really craft here in the hospitality industry.
I hope so, sir. It's a fun show to do. It's needed. It's desperately needed. And we've got to get out of our own way. And I personally think a lot of people during COVID talked a good game about our industry turning around and really focusing on our employees. And I think a lot of companies still aren't paying attention.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, you say get out of your own way. I feel like there's a certain amount of steps one can take to get out of their own way. How many steps are we talking?
There's 5 steps. And
there we go. I love that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Show up.
If you listen to the 5 steps in my book, Show Up, bestseller, actually. And again, the greatest compliments that I could get from the book on Amazon. I mean, I've gotten so many. Everything's 5-star, and I think I have 25 reviews, and they're all. It's simple read. It's plain English. It's like Anthony's talking on your shoulder. And those 5 steps you talk about are relevancy, consistency, flexibility, authenticity, and durability.
Yeah, right.
And all the things we need to do every day in our own lives to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you the image of a little Anthony on my shoulder. Is it good Anthony or evil Anthony? I don't know. Buy the book, find out.
Isn't there a song, Little Anthony on my shoulder?
Are you still signing books?
Oh, yeah, I'm signing books. I'm sending books out. Like I said, the post office loves me. Yeah. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. We're still selling books, and we're going to do a signing at some point in New York, where I'll maybe read parts of the book. But, I haven't decided yet. It's not something, I have a problem with things like that because, you still don't think people are going to show up.
And a lot of times for book signings, people don't show up. Right. And world famous authors sit at empty tables. It's very scary.
Right. I can be at 5 million people watching my show.
Yep.
But then, I have this thing, same thing with like birthday parties or parties. It's
I don't like to throw parties. I'm very insecure. Hey, we got a quick question before we wrap up, and I got to hit the highway. Jason Stars is asking from YouTube, what steps are those hotels taking to make the hospitality business better for their employees?
Well, I think once you see the show, you'll really understand that. And I'll specifically talk about the Breakers and Margaritaville. Both do a great job.
Yep.
In order to get into the Breakers, they're not really looking for your resume. They're looking for what kind of person you are. Mm-hmm. And they actually have a saying. I can't remember the saying off the top of my head, but it's the way, kind of like I've always said, like, I don't, I can teach you to push a button, but if your mother and father didn't raise you right, and if you weren't raised right, or you somewhere along the line didn't get, figure it out, then, I was just talking the other day on stage, or maybe even on this podcast, I can't remember. I'm sick and tired of people talking about motivation. Yeah. How do I motivate my employees? I can start using swear words. I cannot get somebody out of bed at 6 a.m. in the morning. I just can't. Yep. What I can do is when you show up, I can give you a really nice place to work. Mm-hmm. I can be kind to you. I can give you responsibility and hold you accountable. I can give you a nice salary, and I can give you good benefits, and I can give you a fun place to work. But I can't motivate you. If you're not self-motivated, and people are sick. I'm sick and tired of listening to people saying, well, I motivate my team. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're full of shit. You don't motivate anybody. Okay. Either you give them a good environment to work, right, and you give them something to look forward to, and that's your only job. You know, if somebody doesn't want to show up to work, stop trying to get them to show up to work.
Yeah.
You know, stop. I made a career of trying to do that. And now as I get older and more of a curmudgeon, I'm like, you know what? Getting on the bus is your problem. Ironing your shirt is your problem. Wait till you see this, man. There was a kid that did his shirt. It looked like he went to, I think I told you, he looked like he went to the wrinkle store before he came to the set and to get his shirt. And which the
didn't Phil Rizzuto do ads in the 70s for the wrinkle store?
Probably.
Sorry, little New York money store humor.
Yeah, the money store. I love that commercial. Yeah. And they made more money on commercial than they did on their salaries. But
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, and people look at me like that's not true. You can motivate people. Go scratch your ass. You can't motivate people. You can inspire people.
Yeah,
you can have a talk with them. You can say, "Hey, man, it's like I see you coming in late. I see that you're a good worker, but I can't set your alarm for you. I can't make you hit the bus early. Like I just can't do that for you. But I think you're a great worker. I really respect you. I think you have a great career in the industry. You know, do it for yourself. Don't do it for me. But I need you to get here on time, or we're gonna have to. I'm gonna promote you to customer, and you can come here, but you can't work here.
Right.
And that's inspiring someone. That's not motivating someone.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Jason Starr, some of the things that companies like the Breakers of Margaritaville are doing, they're helping like with flexibility for work. They're looking at different types of benefits package. I know some great hotel companies that have great mental health programs in place because we're all coping with so much in our crazy fast-paced society. So we are moving forward in making sure that employees feel as if they're well respected and cared for. And also I'd recommend looking up Harris Rosen of Rosen Hotels in Orlando if you want to know what somebody's doing to make life better for their employees.
You know, that's a person I should reach out to. That's a really good thought.
That's a really good idea. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's listen, if you're interested, please forward me an email or get me on DM. And I apologize if I look a little ill because I'm not really feeling great, but I showed up, buddy.
Yeah, man, you always show up, and you're doing it in more than 5 ways. But the good news is you out there only need 5 of them and learn from Anthony.
And you know what? I want this to be a lesson, right?
Yeah.
People always say, what's the secret? There is no secret. You know, when I first shot my show, we're very fortunate it got picked up. I shot my second show, we're very fortunate it got picked up. Shot my third show, very fortunate it got picked up. Fourth show, they came to me. Then I shot the 5th show, and they loved it. And then I went to CNN and everything, and they loved it, but they didn't get picked up. Then I sat on the sidelines saying, I'm not really interested in doing the show anymore. And then I was like, we need to do this show. And I was like, I'm not going hat in hand to people, you know, in the networks, which the show would get picked up eventually, but I'm not doing it. I'm like, let's do it ourselves. And if it gets, if it gets on TV and we get the show and we get the season and 2 seasons, 10 seasons, great. But I'm just not going the old-fashioned way. I'm doing it my way, and if it works, it works. But and I've never said this before out loud, but I'm proud of myself and proud of my team that we got it this far.
Yep.
Think about from an idea in November to getting it done, and this could be on any network, including Netflix, and it's a highly, highly beautifully produced show with funny emotion, and it's just one day we got up and was like, we're going to do this. And so just don't wait. Like I say in the book, you know, UPS isn't coming and this is what success looks like. You know, my next door neighbor, and he said it in a nice way. He goes, oh, I see you guys a new show. He goes, you're back on top. I go, I don't need a show to be back on top. I don't know what that means. And he looked at me like he offended me. And I go, you didn't offend me, but I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm on TV, or I got a show that I'm back on top. Don't wait for people to tell you what to pat you on the back and to justify what success is for you.
Yep.
Success for me was getting this show to the point we have it. Hopefully we'll get it further, but that's success, you know?
Yeah.
And so stop waiting for people to tell you you're good enough or this is what success looks like. You have to define what success is for yourself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I listened to what people told me I should do in order to get to whatever their notion of success is, I wouldn't have found something that I'm passionate about that allows me to have a fulfilling career and support my family at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend says to me, he read my book and he goes,
Yep.
but it kind of comes to a abrupt end. And like, it's, I thought you would have more pages or whatever. And I go, did you ever write a book before? He goes, no. I go, then shut up. I don't think it came to an abrupt end, but like I was done.
I think so.
I was done. I was like, this is it. This is all I can do. I can't do another word.
I would argue that the abrupt end only means that he liked it so much he wanted to keep on reading, and that's a great place. Yeah.
And then he said, "Well, you shared a lot." I was like, "Well, apparently you didn't watch my movie." I didn't share anything in the book, really.
We may have a producer texting right now. 6/8/21 would be Harris Rosen show. Go look up that show. 6/8/21, and of course you can find that at novacancynews.com or on the No Vacancy YouTube channel. And while we're at it, Anthony, you know what I think people should do? People should download the audio version of the podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, wherever you download your shows. We are there. He's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. Have a great weekend, brother.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the show and my book.
That was a lot of fun.
I like talking about me.
Shocking that somebody would like talking about themselves. Crazy. One of these days I'll get a show all about me. Wait, maybe that's why I created this show. Meanwhile, no, that's why I created Friday Night Audit live from somewhere in New Hampshire tomorrow, celebrating Bruce Ford's 50th birthday party. So
I thought Bruce was 40. Bruce is only 50.
I thought he was in his 20s, but hey, listen, can't judge our eyes. We don't know what we're talking about. So we'll be there Friday night, and then Anthony and I are back with more great shows right here next week. We'll see you then. And until then, remember, you got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
See y'all later.